Welcome to the Finish Line with Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and the Finish Line is all about getting our quilt tops finished. And I do want to finish this beautiful quilt that I made last month. Sort of has this rainbow feel to it. So I do want to do some straight lined curvy stitching. The other thing I'm going to do is, because this has a lot of colors in it, I'm going to change colors as I'm quilting. This is just going to be line quilting. So every couple of lines, I'm going to change the colors that are going to be as close as I can to these fabrics. This is going to give me a chance to use up some of those fun threads that I don't often get a chance to use. This type of quilting you can do on any machine, your home machine, and in my case, I'm going to be using my Q20. It's a fun way of quilting because there really is no rules and it is stress-free. So here's a larger view of the quilt that I want to do. I did do it last month, and the video was called Sunprint Rainbow Quilt, and the fabric and the pattern was from Andover. So you can see all of these fun, beautiful fabrics. I do want to do quilting in this direction. Now I could do straight line quilting, but gentle curves are going to be a lot more forgiving and easier to do than straight lines. Even though those are curves, I do want to keep them semi-straight so that the curves are not going to start bending and going out of control. So I want to draw some straight lines. They're not lines that I'm going to follow, but they're going to keep me going in one direction to the other. And I do not need to draw lines for everyone. I just want to have a couple going in this direction just to give me that idea. I'm going to use the chalk so it'll brush off. So here are these chalk lines, and those chalk lines are just going to keep me on the straight and narrow. But I do want to do a gentle curve that would be something like this. I don't want little curves. I want big, generous curves. So you could do a ruler and do the curves. You could do a combination between ruler and free motion, or just free motion. But this is sort of that curve that I'm wanting. And I'm not going to try to keep straight. This is just going to help me not veer off in one direction or another. And we can start in the center and go down in both directions. So what I'm going to do, in order to get that chalk line not to come off, I'm going to roll the quilt, and you can see where I'm going to choose that black background. I'm also going to use black thread. So I'm going to roll that quilt up in that same angle as I'm going to be quilting. And I'm going to start and just do a gradual quilting down the center. And I will not be using a ruler. I'm just going to free motion that. Normally when I'm quilting, I do keep the quilt quite close in front of me. But in this case, I'm going to be working from one side back to the other. Now I do have this long space. I'm able to do that with this table. If you don't have the space, you can quilt it coming in this direction. This is also a great pattern to use with a walking foot. I'm going to start off of the quilt so I'm on the quilt batting, and that will all be trimmed down afterwards. And now just do some gentle curves. Those lines are not lines that I'm following. Like I said, they're just keeping me so that I'm kind of not veering off and I'm semi-straight. And I come right off. From here, I'm going to go back and do another curvy stitch. And I'm not worried about how big the spaces are going to be or what the curves are going to be looking like. I just want all of these curves going from one side up the quilt. I have black thread on the bobbin, and I'm going to be changing that thread when I get to new colors. And you can see how fast this quilting is going to go. I'm going to do a couple of inches in one color thread, then I'm going to change it and change it and change that thread. So I'll have a lot of different colors on the front and the back will remain black. Sometimes you're going to be able to use your arms in order to move the quilt. Whatever you find comfortable doing will be fine. So here is a faint chalk line. You can see I'm following the direction, but I did not follow it straight. And I have all of these nice curved lines. So that entire quilt has all of those beautiful curved lines, which means it was easy to do and there were no mistakes. And the back, I did use the black thread for the back, so you really don't see the stitching, but you do see that dimension. Those gentle curves maintain the look of the quilt. Changing the color of the thread, you don't really notice the thread, you're just noticing all of those dimensions. It's an easy stitch to do. All we need to do is draw some lines so that we can stay on the straight and not get off a little bit. But again, we're not doing any straight lines, they're all gentle curves. I do hope you give this design a try. It really is a lot of fun. We can do it on a sit-down machine, you can do it on your home machine, and you can even use a walking foot. And thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I do have a newsletter. It's all free under Sew Very Easy. And be sure to make every day a Sewtacular day. Bye for now.